Hi YouTube. Oh, this isn't quite right. Let me make another adjustment. Sorry, I just got out of the shower. Today is, okay, it's Diane. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I flipped my phone, so I've got to get used to where my camera is. I see, what is today? Today is March 19th. No. Yes, March 19th, 2020. Is it crazy where you live? It's crazy where we live. My sons work in a grocery store, and so some of the stories they're telling me are kind of weird. And when I placed my weekly order, I messaged, I said, we have a large family, so I'm not like hoarding. But yeah, this virus, I mean, it's a serious thing. My husband has been told by his doctor he's in the high risk category. He is autoimmune compromised, so he's in the high risk category. So he's working from home. We're staying at home as much as possible, you know, that type of thing. And he actually was in California for a while. So, you know, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be concerned. I'm just saying that the media is stirring up a lot of panic that is unnecessary. Instead of just doing their jobs and giving people good information, and this is what the government wants you to do at the moment, or this is what you can do to keep you and your family healthy. But instead they want to stir the pot. And one of my favorite movies of all time. Now, Jimmy Stewart is probably my favorite male actor of all time. I'm trying to think of my favorite female. Probably Maggie Smith, the Dowager. But I've seen her in a lot of other things. She's a fabulous actress. But Mr. Smith Goes to Washington takes place in the 1920s. And if you watch the movie, it's black and white, but it's a good movie. And I mean, it's Jimmy Stewart. But the same things that the media is doing today, they were doing then, although it was more political then. Not that media is not political now. But yeah, it's interesting how things don't change. And they should. But, okay, let's start with life update, shall we? I don't even remember last time I did a video. My daughter said, Mom, you haven't done a video in a while. I should probably do a video. So if you're watching, love you. February 21st was a Friday. And yes, I'm going to drink my Pepsi. I know. I've made changes in my diet, and this is my Achilles heel. Working on it. With my stomach issues, I've decided to go gluten-free to see if that helps, because we've done that in the past. Some of our children have been gluten sensitive, so it's very possible, not that I have celiac, but that I am gluten sensitive. And at this point, I'm like, you know, what I have to do to get rid of the pain, I'm going to try. So that's what I've been doing. Anyway, February 21st, got a text from my Marine about 7 p.m. Hey, I'm going to be flying in tomorrow. Can you pick me up at the airport? Thanks for the notice. My middle daughter and I were going stitching. So I asked my oldest daughter if she could pick him up. Between my children, the largest gap between my children age-wise is 3.5 years, and it's between my oldest daughter and my Marine. And they're good friends, and it's really cool to see your adult children be friends. Yeah, it's interesting. But she said, sure, I could pick him up. Now, if she wasn't able to, I would have picked him up. No, not a big deal. But my middle daughter and I were going to go stitching. And so we went to stitching group. I showed her Haid, which is hanging up in that group there. The last video I showed it, her mini amethyst. And the ladies in this group, I mean, my daughter's 17. They've been encouraging her, seeing her progress, cheering her on, and I knew they wanted to see the finished product. And you know, to have our craft grow, we want new stitchers of all ages to be cheered on and encouraged. So we went, we had a really good time. And I knew my Marine would come here and he'd just crash because he probably had to be up really early, which he did. So he was here a week, a little over a week. On 28th was my stitch in at Stitch Fill, which unfortunately is canceled this month. Ugh. I look forward to that because we have so much fun. But we look forward to doing it again next month. One of the things that I did while I was there, I picked up a few threads, but one I needed for a project I'll show you is my whip, and I'd been slowly kitting up a piece. Every time I went and get a few threads, and I think I finished it off that night. But I also picked up two pieces that I had left there the month before to be framed. And here's one, and this one I think is very appropriate to show this week. This is my anniversary sampler. It was supposed to be our 20th anniversary sampler, but I did make it for our 25th. So I made it. It's by Stony Creek. It was in June, I want to say 2009. It was their cover design. I know that that particular issue doesn't have any back issues left over, but Stony Creek often will republish a pattern that was in their magazine at some point because they own it. I don't know if they're going to do that with this one, or maybe they have done it with this one, but you want to see either anniversary sampler or 20th anniversary sampler. It will say in the sampler, it'll say Stony Creek Magazine. But here it is, all framed, and I think Deb did a wonderful job framing this. Changes I made. There were supposed to be these little butterfly thingies. I didn't like them when I put them on. They looked very tacky, and so I took them off. But this little heart here, it's a little silver heart. And then this said 20 years, so I changed it to 25, and I changed it to kind of this pewter silver color, so it says 25 years, right? Yeah, 25 years, and then here it says anniversary in that same Petite Treasure braid. These roses, this is all DMC. And this white is the pearl cotton DMC. I think it's B5200. It could be white. I don't have the pattern. It's in my stash back there. And the only specialty stitch are these satin hearts here, which I actually did in a pink silk that I had. Everything else is full cross or back stitching. These boxes are, the background is a water lily silk, and then all these little roses and leaves and little frilly things, which Stony Creek is known for. If you stitch this pattern, I'd strongly recommend you stitch the background on these boxes first and then fill in, because there's a lot of color changes, and counting, you'll like the result better. And then this alphabet is in a Threadworks, I think it's called Spanish Olives. A lot of a lot of samplers do white on white. I like how this plays the green on the green. And I just love this font, how it came out. And then down here is more DMC. There's a vine, and there are beads, right? Are there beads along here? No, there's no beads there. The beads start down here in this lacy part. And again, this is not a specialty stitch, it's just X's. And in the center is a silver bead. The beads originally were supposed to be like a white pearl, but because it was the 25th, I changed them to kind of a pewtery silver. And these boxes were supposed to be the same width as these, so it's supposed to be 3 diamonds wide. But when I tried to put our name, Shannon and Diane, I mean, Shannon's name is only 7 letters. Mine is 5. And you have the ampersand, and I tried to play with the spacing. They wouldn't fit. So, I mean, it's not like, you know, Bartholomew and Guinevere or something, really long names. And I thought, well, I'll put his name here and my name there. It just didn't look right. So what I did is I made these boxes 2 diamonds wide. I just took out one of the repeats, and I did the same on both sides, so it looks balanced. And March 14th is our anniversary, so our anniversary was this last week. And from 92 to 2017, I had this finished in June of 2016. And then the vine comes all the way down here. There are beads in these boxes in the center of the white, and then the roses again. And this part, to be honest, it looks like Hardinger. It's not. It's all just basic X. And I thought it would be the most boring, hardest part of this design. It's actually my favorite. It is my favorite part of this design. And so you see these little diamonds. In the center of those are little beads. Again, the silver, and then the roses, and then this. Now this is also the original or what is called for in the chart. The fabric is 28 count cashel. It's green. I'm sorry, I can't tell you much more than that. Except my husband was working in northwestern Minnesota. Must have been 2009, 2010. He calls me. He said, I'm so bored. I'm going to drive to Fargo. Can I go to Nordic Needle and get something for you? What do you need? And this fabric. And they had the called for fabric. So if you find the pattern, it is called for fabric. And then the frame, I love this frame. It's kind of a squished oval, but it has enough of that silvery pewter antique look that it pulls the bead color out. And I like that. I don't think the stitching is overwhelmed with the frame, or the frame is overwhelmed by the I mean, they balance. And I think it works really well. It is padded mount, meaning there's a little bit of batting underneath the fabric. But I think it turned out really, really well. I'm going to try and go in for a little close-up here. Those roses are like 5 or 6 different colors, so they get the depth, which Stony Creek is known for, and they're also known for a lot of back stitching. This piece does not have a lot of back stitching. The vine, I think, is the main part that's back stitched, and a little bit on the alphabet. But other than that, this piece doesn't have a lot of back stitching. But you can start to see the row of beads here, and the beads in here, and the beads down there. So I like it. I'm pleased. Why did I like this design so much? Our wedding colors were emerald and ivory. I wanted a very clean cut classic wedding. The florist threw in some violets here and there and some little kind of wildflowers for contrast of color, but I wanted just emerald and ivory. Very classic, and this is so perfect for us. So when I saw it, I'm like, that's our anniversary piece. Yep. So I picked that up. And I must say, yeah, framing can be pricey. What I thought I would pay for just this one piece to get framed, I actually paid less. I think I paid, what I thought in my head that this would cost to frame. I was actually able to do 2 pieces framed, and it was under what I thought this would cost to do both those pieces. The second piece that I had framed is a piece for my oldest daughter. Okay, something fell. I actually did find the pattern, and I was going to pull the pattern. I think it's right here. If you give me just a second. I did organize this closet. I have to do the other closet, mind you, but I got part of it done. It's this one, A Bloom of Hope by Glendon Place. I changed the colors to violets because Hodgkin's lymphoma that she is still cancer-free from. Everything's good. The color of the ribbon is violet. I did use the called for fabric, which is 28 count cashel, I think it's water lily. And the greens were all the DMC, but I changed all the purples, or all the pinks to purple. Mini Dot needs a nap. So does Mr. Dodd. But I really like this piece, and it was framed, and I'm going to try to insert a picture because on the 29th of February we celebrated our daughter being cancer-free 1 year. On Valentine's Day was the anniversary. So on the 29th, because the Marine was here, and also to send him off. He was supposed to be international at this point, but because of all the COVID stuff, he's on standby, essentially, is my understanding. He's a little frustrated that it's delayed, but he understands why, and the Corps has it in hand, and eventually he'll be international. But he was here, and so I'm going to try, if I can, put picture in all 14 kids, and my daughter will be holding the piece that I stitched for her, and then I'll try and put a little snippet video where I do a close-up of that particular piece, because Deb at Stitchville, we found the perfect purple frame. It just pulled it all together. It looked fabulous. She loved it. She liked it as a way of commemorating that, hey, one chapter of her life And I'm sure she has it hanging up. She doesn't cross stitch herself, but she does appreciate cross stitch and she loves seeing it. She knits and reads. So I'll put that in here. Hi Flosstube. Here is the piece that I stitched for my daughter. I finished this. When did I finish this? I did not put my initials on here. That was silly of me. I finished this in 2019. No, 2018 I finished this. It is Glendon Place, A Bloom of Hope. Originally it's charted for pinks for breast cancer, but I changed it to violets for Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I'm giving this to my daughter later today, so I thought I'd take a quick video to show it. And it was framed at Stitchville in Minnetonka, Minnesota. And I love this frame. It's just a hint of purple, and it's kind of a weathered, rustic kind of look. And I think it works perfect for this piece. If you want to know the colors that I changed, the greens are the called for colors. The fabric is the called for 28 count. I believe it's Jobelin. Water Lily is the color. The purples I changed. There are 3 silks and 3 DMCs in here. And I will try and find my note and put them in the description box below. But since I'm giving this to her later today, I thought I would take a quick video. So back to the regular video. Okay, hopefully that worked. Hopefully it worked. But it was a really good time. So March 1st, my husband drove really early in the morning to our son to the airport to drop him off. It's still not the easiest thing when he goes, but it's good to see him. The core at this point in his life is perfect for him, and he's succeeding. Let's see, so that was the first. The second, I drove the airport with my husband to drop him off to go to California. Yay! And he went about an hour from one of the quarantine areas at that time. I have no clue where it's at now. That's not where he was working, mind you, but he was in that area. And then on that Friday, the 6th, I had to go to the airport again and pick him up. So I was at the airport. Well, I had to go pick him up. And then the 7th and 8th, my guild has what they call March to a Finish. So it's a chance to get together and stitch all day. I didn't stay at the hotel. If the weather would have been wonky, I might have, but it's like 40 minutes for me, maybe. And Sunday morning, I had to get up. Now, mind you, it was daylight savings time. We had to get up at 4, so technically it was 3 to drive him to the airport. For my 4th child was going to New York City to check out a grad school out there. So when he gets his degree in a year and a half, maybe a little less, if he wants to go to Columbia. So he was in New York City. So I dropped him off and then went back and drove to the hotel, and yeah, it was a very, very long day because it was daylight savings time. It really, I'm not a morning person anyway, but that really sucked. But at the March to Finish, there was a freebie table, and I picked up Summer House Stitchworks Fragments in Time 2018. These were on my wish list, and somebody had put number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6 on the table. I think there's 12, maybe there's only 9. So I need to find the other ones because I love the colors in these. And these would be so cute. I think I would make them like ornaments rather than do a double thing, but you never know. But yeah, these were on my wish list. And I also picked up this kit by Teresa Vignette. This is called Mermaid something. I don't know if this is available for purchase. Okay. I think this must have been a class because it's signed by Teresa. And it has the fabric and the fiber. I think it might even have a needle. There's some little charms and stuff. And whoever had it did stitch some of the little motifs in here. So I think they stitched the anchor and they stitched this little octopus guy. not the other stuff around it. So I have a feeling that my youngest daughter would really like me to finish this for her. So those two things were there, and that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. So let me put that there. Yes, the joys of working from home with children. Anyway, while I was there, I had a new start. Arise My Soul by Rosewood Manor. I picked this up at Galleria. It's on 36 count. Yes, 36 count Lakeside Linen Vintage River Willow. And this is how far I got. So this is halfway down the side and halfway across the top. So it stitches up really nice. It's all weeks, right? Yes. Well, it's weeks fabric and weeks fiber. So it'll take, I have a fat quarter, but I don't know why I bought a whole fat quarter. Because it's going to take this fat eighth. But I'll have it something for small pieces. So anyway, I started that one because I thought, I know it's March to a finish, but I'll have a new start. And then I worked on my whip, and I will show my whip here in a few minutes. Let's see, so that was 7th and 8th. So the airport 3 times in 1 week, which for us, we're in the northwest of the Twin Cities, and the airport's in the southwest. So traffic can be kind of interesting. Although at 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning or whenever we were going there, it was pretty good. It was a pretty straight shot. And he was at Terminal 2, so that made it nicer too. Let's see. So that's the 8th. My husband picked him back up the 13th. And the day before he left New York, he went to Museum of Modern Art. I was going to show something. Hold on. So he went to Museum of Modern Art, and I asked him to pick up a keychain because I like making these into scissor fobs. And so this is the one he picked up for me. So now I can make that into a scissor fob. And he didn't have to, but he knows I like tea. So he got this T2 6 loose leaf tea. Never heard of this brand. I haven't tried it yet. They have a website, t2tea.com. So t2tea.com. And there are 6 little different kinds of tea. But I also want this make it cute. Put some stitching on here, box. Yeah. So I'll keep the box. And he also picked up this beautiful teacup from T2. This beautiful teacup. Hand wash only. I wouldn't put these in a dishwasher by any means. And this little tea ball with the Eiffel Tower on it. So now I can use those. And then this last weekend, my husband and I, well, on my anniversary, the 14th, I went and picked up my market stuff that I'd ordered. I had pre-ordered only 2 designs, and then of course I came home with a couple more. I ordered this one by Manny Didana, this needle case. I've never done anything like this, so I thought this would be, it's Flowers of My Garden sewing set. I thought this would be a good challenge for me, and I've been looking at her design, so I thought I would. And I'm thinking this doubloon might look nice. Because this is done on 32 count, and this is 32 count, so I'm thinking that would be a good match. I also pre-ordered this one, Teresa Kogut, Heaven and Nature. Yeah, there were a couple others that Stitchfield, I didn't pre-order and Stitchfield had run out of, but I'll get them in the next year. But I also got this one, Huckleberry Farm by the Blue Flower. And of course my Rosewood sampler wish list has gone up. The Hunter Gatherer. There's another one. And there were a couple of the Teresa's that I want to get. And this one, Memorial Day by Hands On Design. They have an accessory pack for the threads. and I guess this one and the Summer House Stitch Works. Liberty Hill Farm, which I did not pick up yet. I guess one thread pack between the two designs, so I will probably do that at some point. But yeah, so I picked up those 4. I still have 2 I ordered from another distributor. Consider the Lilies and Seeking Refuge. Consider the Lilies is by Heartstring Samplery, and Seeking Refuge is by Brenda Gervais. So, yeah. So my whip. This is the one I've been working on the most. It has my interest, I'm going with it. Zelda by Mirabilia. Now I am changing her from the pinks to the purples to violets. And these are pink roses, but I'm making them more of a red rose. And I changed all the black in here to Petite Silk Lame by Rainbow Gallery. The black, I think it's SP01. But when I have my conversion done, I will definitely do a separate video on that. Stitched on 32 count Thornhaven. Fabrics by Stephanie. And here is where she is at. The dress is almost done. There's a lot of open spots in here that will be beads. So I've got this little section here, and then the black band. The black band does come way out here. It comes up and around. So I've got that, and then the pillows and the, I don't think the pillows, the skin and hair, I'm doing 2/2 skin, or yeah, 2/2 skin, and the hair, that won't take long, but there's a lot of beads on her. So I'm really liking how this is turning out, and yes, I will share my color conversion. And my son, who is an art major, he thought I got the good color combination. Even though this light blue is kind of a high contrast, but it gives you the effect of folded fabric. So yeah, the roses are darker. There's some open spots there that will be beads also. And like here, all these will be beads, 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 beads. So yes, the original pattern calls for 3 skeins of DMC black, which I subbed out for the Silk Lame. I hope you can see the little bit of shimmer from the Silk Lame. I am on my 3rd card of the Silk Lame. I did buy 4 cards, and I'll let you know if I actually got into the 4th card or not. I'm just using it as it comes off the card. So the 3 skeins for the DMC must be very, very accurate, because the 2 skeins of a couple of the colors, and when I changed them, I made sure to double them. Very accurate. I'm on the 2nd skein of both those, and I would be on my 3rd skein of 310 if I used the black. But this last weekend, my husband and I snuck away to Stillwater, Minnesota, to the Santry Mansion for a bed and breakfast, and it was very weird. This time of year, Stillwater tends to be more of a ghost town anyway, but we were the only people in the bed and breakfast. And we went to the restaurant, the Quickfire Grill, or Quickfire Pizza, I'm sorry. Really good pizza. On the wood fire and all that. And it was right before the governor said, the day before the governor said, yeah, now you can't eat in a restaurant. They could do takeout, and they do takeout at Quickfire, which we would have done if that's all our option. We would have taken it back to the bed and breakfast, but the bed and breakfast was awesome. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous house. It is for sale because the owners want to retire. I hope somebody good comes in. And we were joking, yeah, you know, if we had the money, we would, but we don't. But it was really nice. The owners were really nice. We went to the Quickfire, which was really good food. We went to Brick and Bourbon. And we went to the grocery store because we thought, well, we'll just get kind of a salad-y kind of thing for lunch. And people were nuts. And some of the things people are buying just don't make sense. But again, they're in that panic mode, and I don't get it. I understand being prepared. There's a difference between being prepared and being panicked. And our media is not helping. I blame the media. I think our government officials are maybe overreacting, but as several of them have said, they prefer to overreact than underreact. I agree with them on that. And it doesn't matter if they have an R, a D, an I, an X, Y, Q after their party affiliation. I think they are really, really doing what they can. But it's the media. I blame the media. I really do. They could be a calming influence, but they are choosing not to be. So we are just going to hunker down. Because my husband is in the high-risk category, we're definitely, and we're homebodies anyway, so that's not a huge deal in that respect for us. I'm going to do some stitching and hopefully some FFOing, because I was able to go to Hobby Lobby before a lot of this happened, and they will cut the foam core. Some other Flosstubers have talked about this. They will cut the foam core for you, whatever size you need, and so I had them cut 4 pieces for me, for 4 pieces that are hanging over there that I could fully finish. Just gotta get my duff in action and get it done. So I was thinking also of getting in there and doing some organizing, because that's where I throw the Christmas gifts. It's a walk-in closet. But that's also where I store my craft stuff. And when I threw all the Christmas gifts in there, I didn't reorganize afterward, and it needs to be reorganized. So I might do that this afternoon. I don't know. But I'm enjoying all the videos, and I'll put links to 3 of them that I've recently come across that I think y'all will like to check out. M&M, Tassie Stitchers. They're from Tasmania. They're so funny. And there's another one that I came across. I should write these down before I start my video because it's on my phone. You know what? I got my Kindle here. Maybe I could figure it out. But there's some new ones that I think we can show them some love by go check out their videos. And I think you'll like their videos a lot. It's the Freshco Stitcher. I showed her last time. M&M Stitchers. They're one's in Michigan, one's in Minnesota. For Love of the Stitches. And there's another one. I also like to listen to music on my Kindle. So I'll just put 3 down. Oh, Running Stitch. She's been making videos again. I really like her. She's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I really like watching her videos. And of course, Sunshine Stitchers. If you've not been watching their last few videos, don't be drinking something while you watch it, because it will be fun. But I love to y'all. Keep safe. Keep healthy. I don't know when I'll do another video. Maybe when I do those FFOs. And I want to get this one done. So I will do a video on this particular piece. Focus on what color I changed to what. And I'll also make a PDF document, and I'll tell you what groups I put it in so you can access it on Facebook. I've done that in the past when I've done color changes. This is the first one of this size that I've done. I've done Queen Anne's Lace small and Bella Vita small. So I will definitely do a video, and if you want to stitch her, just enjoy it. So it's raining here today. I was hoping it'd get warm because I have a room to paint. And my son, who's not, his classes, he's trying to figure out his classes. He's like, well, I'll help you paint the room, Mom. Of course, then the weather's not cooperating. Always happens. I have the paint, so I already have the paint. But I'll talk to y'all later. Love to you all. Be safe, be healthy, enjoy your stitching.